Hey everyone, so back here, and today we're going to be not only doing an unboxing and having a look at the contents of the Terraforming Mars Automa solo expansion, but we're actually going to dive in and play a game. So I'm going to play it round by round, and at the beginning, obviously, do a little recap, choosing my corporation, talk about what's going on, and then each round, just a quick note to talk about what happened in that round, how things are going, etc. So I think this will be a fun thing. You can follow along with it. And without further ado, camera over and have a look at what's going on. So I've followed the setup instructions for the Automa. I have the Automa board here with a clear cube on the 0 space in the track for each of the various tracks. And I'm also playing with the Venus Next expansion. So I'm using the little extra board here, and Venus is starting at 0. I'm not going to be playing against an automated corporation, as because this is the first game, I think this will be a little bit simpler to just play against the generic bot. I have the neural instance marker set aside here. I have read about what that does. It's quite interesting. We'll see if that comes into play. Essentially, it's on one of the Mars bonus cards, is a card that puts this neural instance into play. It puts it down on a spot that is not adjacent to any other tile, or I believe reserve space as well. So let's say it were placed here, because when the card comes up, there's nothing around it in those spots. Then at the end of the game, the AI, the Marsbot, will score additional points for each space around the neural instance marker that I don't control. So either that's empty or is controlled by the Marsbot. I've set up my own board here. Normally playing the corporate era version of the game, 0 on all the tracks. I've drawn my starting 2 corporations and my starting hand. And I drew the Pharmacy Union, which is a pretty zany one, pretty wild. It's one of the promo cards that I got in the shipment from Frick's Games, and it's certainly interesting. I think it also could have decent potential here against the Marsbot, although microbes could certainly still just be coming out randomly. As the Marsbot, it actually is caring about the icons on each of the cards. It doesn't care about the cost. It doesn't care about the effect. It's going to be drafting cards randomly, and then it's going to have a hand of 4 cards per round, 3 basic project cards from the project deck, and then 1 special bonus Marsbot card. Because I'm playing with the Venus Next expansion, it's actually going to have 5, because this government intervention card is always going to be shuffled in. It's just going to be somewhat simulating the solar phase from the Venus Next expansion, which is bumping up the starting player, bumping up one of the global parameters at the end of each turn. So when the Marsbot takes an action, it's going to have its 5 cards. This is going to be mixed in. It has the same back. Sorry, this here is going to be mixed in. It has the same back. And when it's the Marsbot's turn, it's going to reveal the top card from its hand. And yeah, not caring about the cost, not caring about requirements, what's written on the card, just looking at the tracks here. And then it's going to advance on each of those tracks. So in this instance, for the Space Mirrors card, the Marsbot would advance here, 1 space on the energy track. And then it would also advance 1 space on the space track here, which would then, that red arrow means proceed again, so it would go into that spot. Now, in regards to what I'm working with here, there's the pharmacy one and the mining guild here. I'd be very curious to play the pharmacy corporation. I've played the mining guild a number of times before. I've never actually played this one, but I just don't think that the hand allows it, because I only have 1 science tag in my hand, which is what you need to try to cure the disease. You need science cards, and the microbe tags coming up are bad. As you actually lose money, more viruses are getting loose. The other problem is that the science tag I do have is also accompanied by a microbe tag. So I'm going to be, even for getting that benefit, I'm actually going to be placing another disease there. So it's just sort of a net neutral generally. So yeah, I'm going to have to be forced to take the mining guild here. I do think I have a quite potent start with them because the space mirrors, I can advance the energy, the peroxide power, I can also advance energy, and then I have some cards that use energy to do things. I have the Tesseract here, which is good. And I also have the Radchem factory. And I have so many building tags. I think this is actually going to be quite strong because even if I can't play everything right away, my steel production is going to be bumped up by the mining guild. So I'm going to be able to get all these cards out pretty quickly. And I think it's going to be pretty powerful. So I'm yellow, Marsbot's red. The game set up. We're both starting at TR of 20. Venus Next is being used on the original Tharsis board. Wish me luck, and let's see how this goes. All right, so after one generation of terraforming on Mars and Venus, let's see how things are looking. The Marsbot is off to a good start. They played actually 4 cards. 4 regular project cards, because the card they got was Research and Development, which is Marsbot draws and resolve the project card from the project deck. The Research Outpost helped them a lot too, because there's 3 tags on it. So they've progressed up the tracks, almost every track actually, with the exception of the event track and the energy track. The science track, they progressed substantially because of those red arrows to keep propelling them along. And because of the science track and the earth track here, the Marsbot has actually already constructed 2 cities first generation. It's gotten those placement bonuses, which for it are just in the form of cash. 1 mega credit per icon underneath the cities, so 2 for each of those. And yeah, the Marsbot is off to quite a good start. 2 cities down. It's getting close to the mayor milestone. It's moving along on the tracks. However, I've had a good start of my own. You certainly can't see it on the board here, but that's okay because my production is very good. I played both peroxide power to send my mega credit production down 1 to increase my energy by 2. Trying to get some of the glare off those cards. There we go. And then I also, that enabled me to play the GHG factories, putting my energy down 1 to send heat up 4. That's going to be huge because sitting at 4, it's a very nice spot to be in heat production because that means every second generation I'm going to be able to bump up the temperature. If I can increase that even more, great. But as it stands, that's already pretty strong. And to be up to 4 after 1 generation is very good. I'm at 1 steel production because of my Mining Guild Corporation. And I've been able to do this while also keeping quite a few cards because these are the 2 cards that I just bought. I drafted them and then bought them. They're going to be very strong because the restricted area, used in conjunction with my Mining Guild ability, which is an effect each time you place a tile on an area with steel or a titanium placement bonus, increase your steel production 1 step. So the restricted area, it's going to be useful for drawing cards later on in the game, but just merely placing that tile and bumping my steel production up is going to be really useful. It's still, I'm going to get this out on the 2nd generation. I plan on playing it this turn. So that I think is going to be huge because I drafted quite a few cards, 6 from my opening hand, which is a lot more than I usually do. But because of all these building tags, I think this is going to pay dividends in the long run. These are all quite potent cards. I would love to get the titanium mine out. If I can do, let's see, can I do both of these this turn? That would be 11, 7, 18. I have 17, but I have a steel. Perfect. This is going to be a very good turn for me as well. These are the cards I've already played in the 1st generation. And then, I'm going to have these to work with going forwards, which Space Mirrors, spend 7 ME to increase your energy production 1 step, used in conjunction with the Tesseract. Sounds like the Tesseract from the Avengers. It's going to be a very good combination. I can bump energy production, then decrease energy production to bump plant production. I think this is going to create quite an efficient engine. It's a building tag. I have the Radchem factory. Similar kind of idea, decreasing energy production for Terraform, or for TR rating. It's just going to be good. Yeah, I think this is quite interesting. I'm very happy with the engine I've gotten going here, and we'll see how it progresses here in Generation 2. All right, we're back, and it's the beginning of Generation 3. I've already done the research phase, so the card drafting, and we're just about to get into the play. So let's see how things are looking from how they ended last generation at the end of Generation 2. So you can see the two dome cities. Those domes look good on them, eh? That the Marsbot put out on the first turn. Now my my restricted area that I got into play, you can see it out there. I put it on a steel location so that I could bump up my steel production to 2. I collected the 2 steel as well from placing that, and I also played the titanium mine to bump up my titanium production. So production is looking good other than ME production, which is at -1, and I'm still at a TR of 20. So the Global Terraforming Committee, they're not impressed with my efforts thus far. They're not providing me with more funding, but that is fine because I'm quite happy with how my production increases have been going. Let's look at the Marsbot. They're moving along. So really what I'm mainly worried about right now are these oceans. So if the Marsbot plays a card with an event tag or a building tag, it's going to place an ocean. And that's a bit of a concern to me because I have the Neptunian Power Consultants, as you saw from my drafted cards last turn that I bought this. As this has the effect, when any ocean is placed, you may spend 5 ME, steel may be used, so this is particularly good for me as the Mining Guild, to raise your energy production 1 step and add 1 hydroelectric resource here. So I'm thinking that this is going to be very strong. I want to get this out quickly. Fortunately for me, I am the first player, so I know I'm going to be able to drop this down immediately, and I think this is going to be very valuable. Now, let's look at the cards that I drafted, as I haven't actually bought anything yet. So I have flooding here. That could be good. I could flood Marsbot there, get some greenery, get an ocean down, bump up my TR. It is -1 point, but I would get to remove 4 of its mega credits. I have the robotic workforce, which is the most enticing card really that I have here, as I could duplicate the GHG factories. So I could send my energy down again to 0 to bump my heat up to 8, so that I'm getting a temperature bump every turn. I think that's going to be very strong. That's something I want to do. Penguins, I actually only drafted just because I didn't want to give an animal tag to the Marsbot. As you can see, it's going to start getting a lot of greenery down if it's progressing on animal, plant, or microbe tags. Then I got the St. Joseph of Cupertino mission, a religious order dedicated to the patron saint of astronauts. Detached from humanity's roots on Earth, many people on Mars will look for spiritual guidance. So, as an action, you can spend 5 ME, steel may be used to place a cathedral silver cube on a city tile, max 1 per city. The city owner may pay 2 ME to draw 1 card. There is an exception, actually, they have in the rule book for this, in the FAQ. There it is, St. Joseph of Cupertino mission promo card. If you place Sorry, I can't speak right now. If you place a cathedral at one of Marsbot's cities, it spends 2 ME if able, but instead of drawing a card, it advances its least advanced track, topmost if tied. That's going to be pretty good for it. This is a good card for me, and I like it, but I don't think I'm going to draft it. Because the thing is, I'm sitting at 20 ME here after production. I want to drop this immediately, as I feel as though an ocean coming down this turn is quite likely. And this is going to be a strong card for me. So that's 14. That leaves me with 6 to play with. So Space Mirrors could be... I could also just draft 2 cards. That's the thing. Yeah. I might draft flooding and robotic workforce here. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. Yeah. All right, well, let's see how this goes. All right, let's check out how things are looking at the beginning of Generation 4. So we've done the card drafting, and Generation 3 was an interesting one. Got the Marsbot, got an ocean down and a greenery. As you can see, it's now at 22 TR rating. My production's looking good. Heat's still at 4. Energy is at 2. I'm trying to remember how that... Oh, it went to 2 because of the Neptunium power consultants, as that ocean tile was placed. So I did also get a hydroelectric resource on there. I got it out prior to the ocean coming down. This turn, I've only purchased 1 card from the cards I drafted, the Olympus Conference. It's got that building tag. It's going to help me get the builder milestone. Not that I'm too worried about missing that. It is a victory point, and namely, it's just something for me to spend my steel on, in addition to the Neptunium power consultants and the cards already in my hand. It's going to be something that will just be a good play down the road. So spend 3 for that. This turn, I'm looking to play Robotic Workforce and probably the Rad Chem Factory to start making a little more money. There you go. Let's see how Generation 4 goes. Okay, we're coming into Generation 5 here. I've just done the drafting. I've purchased my cards. Actually, I'll show you that in a second. First, let's see what the game state looks like. Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. That is the local neural instance tile that came down right there. And that is very cool. It's the big AI brain, and it's situated right in Solus Planum. You can see how the board is developed as well. TR track. The Marsbot is at 24. I'm at 23. So generally keeping pace. Plus, each of those silver cubes represents 5, standard yellow resource cubes. So that is 16 heat. I'm going to be able to bump the heat up twice. I am the starting player, as it's Generation 5. It's an odd number, 2-player game. And I'm going to be able to get that heat bonus there because I'm going to be able to do that before Marsbot can do anything to stop me. And yeah, things are looking good. I'm at 6 building tags, including the 2 on the Mining Guild Corporation card. And these are the cards that I drafted. So mining rights is going to be a really good answer to the local neural instance, as I can put it right on top of there, collect 2 steel, and then actually bump up my steel production twice. Once for this, once for my Mining Guild Corporation. That's going to be very handy. I purchased the Solar Logistics as well because I do have some drip titanium economy. It's a big space card. It's worth a point. It'll get me back to titanium. And then when I play an Earth tag, I pay 2 less for it. And when any player plays a space event, draw a card. So I think that could be a pretty useful way to spend my titanium. Heat production, yeah, 8. Energy down to 0 now. But with the Neptunium power consultants, I do have some means of getting that back up. We can see where the Marsbot is along its various tracks. As you can see, it's progressing quite well scientifically, thanks to its local neural instance. That's actually unrelated, but I think that's a cool thematic thing. Venus, it hasn't moved along too much. It's got a couple floater resources down. The Venus track is at 3% of Venus terraformed. So yeah, an interesting game state. All right, it's the beginning of Generation 6, and Generation 5 was an eventful one. Thing really starting to heat up, as you can see, up to minus 18 degrees Celsius as an average temperature around the equator. As you can see, I got my mining rights, mining industries going here, right next to the local neural instance. Another ocean came down, that was Marsbot. TR ratings, I'm at 26, Marsbot's at 25, so I did surpass Marsbot this past turn. We can see where Marsbot is on these tracks. It's in a good spot because on the Earth track, its next bump up is going to be plus 3 TR. On the plant track, it's going to be a greenery. On the science track, it's nothing. Event track, greenery. Space track, ocean. So this could be a quite explosive turn for it potentially. I've been trying to keep the cards with multiple tags out of the Marsbot the AI's hands, because those ones, when it's accelerating a lot of tracks, that can be quite devastating. So I've been trying to keep those cards out of its hands, sometimes even drafting one that I'm not interested in, just to not have it get these increases on all these different tracks and get a ton of value from that. Venus is still at 6%. Might have been at 4 before. It may have gone up last generation. I can't quite remember that. There's my tableau. Production. Yeah, that mining rights card is going to be huge. I'll show you what's in my hand as well. So I still have the solar logistics, still have the Olympus conference, flooding. This turn I bought these two cards. The Great Escarpment Consortium is going to be really good. That's going to be more steel production for me. I am steel hungry, and I'm going to be sending Marsbot down one spot on this track. It doesn't get that benefit again, and it's just going to slow it from advancing to these more prominent areas. The rad suits, I was kind of on the fence about. It's early enough. It's the beginning of Generation 6. I think it's early enough that this card still has some value in the sense of ME production. I mean, probably not, actually. I'm actually going to do a 180 on what I just said, because the card cost me 3 to buy, 6 to play. That's 9. I would be shocked if there are 9 more generations in the game. However, it is a point, so 6 ME for a point, when you look at it that way, is more enticing. That card I'm still somewhat on the fence about, but I do think it was worth it. Okay, here we are at the beginning of Generation 7. Generation 6. Last round, I did play the rad suits. I also played the Great Escarpment Consortium. So I'm just now remembering, not that it really matters, but I moved their production down, so that's marking where it was. This is marking where it went to. This would matter if I had moved it down from a spot where there is a reward for advancing to that spot, as you don't gain the reward twice. So let's say the cube had been here, and then I reduced it. I would have marked the red cube there on the +2 terraform. When the AI inevitably moves back to that spot, it wouldn't have gained the bonus. In this instance, it doesn't affect anything, but just to sort of talk about that mechanic a little bit. The Marsbot is accumulating floaters, so it's got 3, needs 7 to be eligible for that milestone, but it does have some on the horizon. Looking at the board, not too much has changed. More greenery down for the Marsbot. The Marsbot did have a big turn on TR because it hit this +3 TR bonus, and then it also placed 2 greeneries actually. So it raised itself up 5 last generation, which was huge for it. It's now 2 ahead of me there. We're beginning Generation 7, so I'm the starting player again. This is what my hand of cards currently is. This trying to get the glare off. This homeostasis bureau is going to be very useful, especially because, as you can see, my steel production is very high. I'm producing 6 steel a turn, so I have some left over from last turn. I'm actually at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steel. So I'm going to be playing this homeostasis bureau for 2 mega credits, and then all my steel. That's going to be very, very useful. I'm also then going to increase the temperature, get some money back. It's going to be nice. I'm going to be able to play the imported hydrogen for, I have 4 titanium, 4x3, so this for 4. I got rover construction to get down as well. I think I'm going to wait for next turn, as it'll be free once I get my steel again. And then I have those 2. The glare is just terrible. These 2 cards there as well. So yeah, let's see how this generation goes. Quick little upkeep thing that I did miss, and the markers are different because I have played through some of this generation, so I just bumped up my plant production using the old Tesseract, the Tesseract, but I did not produce the plant as my production was at 1, so you may have noticed that in the last little clip, so that's been fixed. Here we are, folks, at the beginning of Generation 8, and this is the board state. The Marsbot has 3 cities down, 4 greeneries down. All I have are the mining rights and the restricted area. There are 4 oceans down. Oxygen's at 5%. Average temperature at the equator is at minus 12 degrees Celsius. 5 oceans left. In regards to TR rating, the Marsbot's at 31. I'm at 30. That's tight. I have 4 hydroelectric resources on my Neptunian Power Consultants card. Homeostasis Bureau is out. My heat production's at 11. So that's getting quite potent. And the Marsbot is going to be the starting player this turn. Here's where it stands on all of its tracks. It now has 5 floaters. Whew, it's getting good. So here we are at the beginning of Generation 9. See how things are progressing. Generation 8 was another good one. It was interesting. We see the developments and the differences here on the board. And that the Marsbot has actually pulled away in regards to TR rating because it got a couple boosts from the track here. It hit the 2 there, and then it also hit, I believe, that 3 as well. So it's really pulled away there. It's at 36. My TR rating's at 31. However, I'm pretty happy. I'm building out quite a large tableau here. I got the solar logistics out, rover construction. I'm just trying to get rid of the glare. And I'm starting to get a lot of triggers. My production is also getting to be pretty high. There you can see where the Marsbot's board is at. And I'll also show you what I've drafted. So this round I bought 3 cards actually. Small Animals is going to be quite good. So the oxygen is at 6%. It's the perfect time to play it. Development Center. Imported Nitrogen fits perfectly with Solar Logistics as it's an Earth card and a space event. So I'm going to get double triggers from that when I play it. I just want to wait until I have the Small Animals out to take advantage of the animal tag. If I pass on the microbes, that's fine, but maybe there'll be a useful microbe thing. With my restricted area last turn, I actually drew the advanced alloys, which is going to be really good. Each titanium and each steel is going to be worth 1 mega credit extra when paying towards something. And as you can see with the production I have on those, that's going to be pretty valuable. I have Noctis City in my hand. I'm just waiting for the Marsbot, the AI, to get greedy, hopefully put a greenery there, and then I can put down Noctis City, because if I put down Noctis City first, it's going to prioritize putting its greeneries elsewhere. Got the Olympus Conference, which is going to be good, as I have a couple other science cards in my hand, and then the Cartel, which I drew from the restricted area the turn prior. I'm starting to get some Earth tags. Once I play the Olympus Conference and I have the Solar Logistics, I can also play it for 2 less, so it's going to be decent. Oh boy, okay, we're coming down the stretch here. We're just at the beginning of Generation 10, and I'll show you the board state. The Marsbot definitely has the lead on the board. Its ground game's better than mine. It's also at 45 TR, where I'm at 34. So that's not great, but my engine is exceptional at this point. What's also interesting is not a single milestone or award has been claimed yet. I'm not too concerned in that sense because I've just been prioritizing my engine and other things going on. Now, that's going to start happening. There's an award claim coming here, a milestone claim coming there. So it's really knocking on the door to these things. the Marsbot, the AI, it's going to start doing that, then I'm really going to have to start trying to counter, because that's going to become problematic. Could very realistically see an award and a milestone claim by the Marsbot this turn. In regards to my hand, now I'm at imported nitrogen, Noctis City. I just picked this up midway through last turn. It was either the Olympus Conference or the Development Center. I have the requisite 3 power tags, so that's going to be very good, especially with a little bit of drip, titanium production, and those nice advanced alloys, making them each worth 4 mega credits when paying the titanium. Maxwell base I drew as well, partway through the turn. And then these, I drafted 3 cards, greenhouses, nitrate reducing bacteria, which is going to pair really nicely with the imported nitrogen. Makes sense, doesn't it? And this, oh my god, this is going to be beautiful, because imported nitrogen is going to trigger both those, like I said. It's going to help me with the plants. The microbes can go onto this card once I played it, and then the animals can go onto small animals. So that's going to be very good. Power Supply Consortium, it's good. I have the requisite power tags. It's going to send the AI down on the power track and send me up. Let's see how this generation goes. Here we are, folks, at the beginning of Generation 11, and I'm starting to get a little scared. Marsbot's at a 48 TR rating to my 37. The AI has much superior board position as well. More greeneries, more cities. It's definitely concerning. My engine is very strong, but there's not a lot of global parameters left to be met. I mean, the temperature has a little bit left on the track. There's 1 ocean left to be placed, and oxygen needs to advance 3% more, but I don't think that's going to take long. Looking at this, temperature's almost going up there. I'm going to have to raise the temperature myself because I need that TR boost. And yeah, it's certainly concerning. I am first player because it's an odd number generation, and I'm thinking what I need to do is actually grab a milestone. And I think I need to grab the Mare milestone because that's the one that the Marsbot also meets. Well, it meets Terraformer as well. I think I grab Mare and Terraformer. No, but it's only going to take 1 on its turn. I think I grab Mare. It doesn't actually matter between those 2. I grab 1, and then I grab 2 on my next turn. Oh boy. I mean, it's far enough off on the tracks that maybe I can get away with not grabbing 1. It grabs 1, then I get the other 2. Another concern is it's close to claiming another award on the play of an event card or an event tag. And that's going to be problematic because it's going to choose Landlord where it has a substantial lead on me. Let's see what happens. So hang on, I did just realize something interesting once I sat down and gave this a closer inspection. If the Marsbot's card is has a science tag and a building tag, it'll claim 2 milestones. So on the first action of my turn, I need to claim 2. So in the worst case scenario, I have 2, Marsbot has 1, and that'll let me chew into its lead a little bit. Here we are, the beginning of Generation 12, and check it out. Generation 11 was quite kind to me. With the order of the Marsbot's cards, I actually ended up being able to claim all 3 milestones. So that's going to be very favorable for me at endgame scoring. I still haven't claimed an award yet. Marsbot has 1. And those 3 milestones that I obtained are going to be critical, as Marsbot has assembled an enormous amount of mega credits, which is going to translate into additional points for it at the end of the game. Here's its current standing on the tracks. It was also a really strong turn for me as I was able to make up a lot of ground on the TR rating. Marsbot's at 48. I'm now at 45. I'm nipping on this AI's heels. There's one increment left on the temperature track, 1 ocean left to be placed, 2 increments left on the oxygen track. The end is in sight, folks. Mars is almost terraformed. Show you my production. This card was huge in trying to catch up on the TR track there. Greenhouses was quite strong. It got me 8 plants. Yes. Quick little catch. Now that all the milestones have been claimed, the Hoverlord milestone is no longer available to be claimed because 3 have been claimed. So I spent the 5 floater resources here on the Venus track to draw an extra card. Or the drafted card was supposed to not get discarded. I had already discarded. I couldn't remember which one it was, so I added a random card, which I believe could actually benefit the AI. So you're welcome, AI. I'm going to try to beat you anyway. And yeah, now there's 6 cards here along with that Venus card. So this is going to be a big turn for the Marsbot. Here we are, folks. Your eyes on the beginning of Generation 13. This will certainly be the last generation. I'll see to that as the Marsbots points are going to start getting modified. Well, they already have been. But all this money that the AI is sitting on, depending on what generation you finish, the later the game goes, each mega credit is worth, it's more valuable. So I can't have the game go on too long. And yeah, it makes perfect sense. Otherwise, you would just not end the game and you would just develop an absolutely obscene engine. Mine has gotten pretty unwieldy. Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. There's a lot to keep track of. Marsbot is pulled a little further ahead here than the way things finished the last generation. TR ratings, Marsbot 51, me 47. Here's how its clear cubes are looking on its various tracks. 3 floaters there. I got the Maxwell, Maxwell base out. But yeah, I'm going to be ending it this generation. We'll come back for final scoring. All right, it is over. Oh my God. My brain is fried. That is a heavy experience. There's a lot to run. There's a lot to think about because, Terraforming Mars, it's a nuanced, it's a deep game. But here, not only are you worrying about your own stuff, you're also worrying about the maintenance of the AI, the Marsbot. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot to manage, a lot of shuffling as well. I do want to give my initial thoughts and impressions on this Automa solo experience for Terraforming Mars, probably in a separate video. Right now it's quite late. My brain's fried. I need more time to digest this and just to be more articulate. But it was a big game, but I do want to show. So the game finished in Generation 13. There you can see the board state. I was able to get tiles, 4 out of the 6 tiles surrounding the neural instance marker. So the AI only got 2 extra points at the end of the game because of that, because there were 2 spots that were where I didn't have a tile laid around it. I played a ton of cards this game. That's just all my green cards. My green project cards here are my blue ones, my actions. The glare is just horrific. There we go. It was really satisfying building up that big tableau there. You can see the Mars rover in all her glory. You can see how much money I was making by the end of the game. That's where the Marsbot's tracks finished. It had those 5 floaters, so had there been another turn, it would have had an extra project card to play that turn. So yeah, game finished Generation 13, and drum roll. Final scoring, Marsbot 99. The AI, she almost cracked 100, couldn't quite do it. Me getting all 3 of those milestones certainly helped avoid that, and I finished with 121. So that is a human victory. Max versus the Marsbot. Man versus artificial intelligence. Round one goes to man. That was a it was a heavy experience, but I did really enjoy it. I definitely want to take more time to digest my thoughts on this. It's a much longer experience than just the race against the clock that is the solo mode in the base game and that the other expansions facilitate prior to the release of this Automa. But it is certain that the Automa, this is more representative of what a real multiplayer, two-player experience is like, with the terraform, the way the board looks, awards and milestones being claimed. It feels a lot more like really a real game as opposed to that just you versus the clock that is the traditional solo mode for this game. So yeah, definitely want to collect my thoughts more on this and give a proper video on it, give a bit more of a breakdown of just the theme, the flavor. The flavor is very strong. That comes out well through the Marsbot bonus cards. There's a lot of cool stuff. I got hit by a meteor shower. That caused me to lose 5 plants. The lobbyist card is interesting. That's a strong one. There's the neural instance. I like the big AI brain. Overachievement, that's an important card for the AI. I do think I got a little lucky in the sense that the tracks and the ways that the AI could claim awards and milestones, it didn't those places on the track. Like you can see it was close there, it was close there. And really it just needed to get those milestones going before I was able to take all. I think that really was, it was a giant swing. If the AI had had 3 and I didn't, I would have had 15 less points. AI would have had 15 more, and the AI would have won the game. So yeah, this game can scale. There's harder modes. There's 2 modes above this, 3 actually, because playing with an AI corporation apparently already makes it a little bit harder. Playing against that, sorry. And then you can also bump the difficulty level to hard and then brutal. So brutal must be very incredibly challenging because I'm by no means an expert at this game, but I have played it quite a bit. And even just the regular bot without an AI corporation, I won by 22 points, but it's not a ton. I do think the draft mode also helped me as I was able to, because for the bot, the cards, triple tag cards are so powerful for the bot. I want to find a good example. Yeah, perfect. Oh, got all kinds of examples. Technology demonstration and imported hydrogen. These triple tag cards are so powerful for the AI because Marsbot's going up on 3 different tracks from the play of 1 card. So you certainly have to try to deny it that. But then again, it's somewhat similar to that feeling you get in just a regular standard game of Terraforming Mars against other humanly played corporations, where it's what I love about the draft and games that have a draft mechanic. I think this is something very strong about them, it's that constant weighing of the card that's best for me. Is it good enough that it justifies me letting this other card that's good for my opponent to pass through? And you're constantly having to weigh that when you're drafting your hands. It's very interesting. It's something I really enjoy in both versions. It's captured well here because you do want to deny the bot these triple tag cards. I would say here it's a little more obvious maybe that you can't be giving the bot those cards. Those tags are almost entirely how it advances up these tracks. I think entirely actually, because it has this stuff, these bonus cards that do powerful effects, but at least from what I've seen, they weren't playing with these tracks. So those tags are its way to advance up these tracks. In a mathematical sense, you're just trying to reduce how many times it can do that because, this is how it's getting all the vast majority of its benefits. So I did feel as though that decision felt a little obvious at times, but at the same time, you do also have to build your own engine. So it was interesting nonetheless. This video is probably getting a little bit long, but more thoughts to come. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video and watching. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a fun little format. I'm curious to see how it's received. Leave some comments if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time. Take care. So last thing, I noticed as I was cleaning up that Missed looking at my event cards, and I had a -1 point there. So I finished with 120, not 121.
No one can say that this game wasn't played by the book. Take care, guys.